Hey YouTube, Tactical Timmy here. Let's talk about if precious metals are good investments. The long story short is yes. You see these precious metals in front of you. I am very clearly a gold and silver stacker, so it's not a shock that I do believe that they are a good investment, but it takes patience. If you had just come into gold and silver stacking a year ago, as of now, silver's shot up above $30 an ounce, and that's the first time that it's come back to $30 an ounce since 2011. That would have meant if you got into silver stacking last year, you'd be up 30% on your investment. For gold, on the other hand, because I obviously like gold investing as well, it just smashed through the previously thought floor of that $2,000 an ounce, and for the year, as of right now, it's up over 20%. Again, that's a very distorted view because you're looking at it as if you came into gold and silver stacking over the course of just 1 year. The thing is that's just not how we get into investing. What we do as investors is we end up slowly making purchases over time and slowly building our portfolio. And that's the thing with gold and silver and really any asset class. We're not judging it on the breakout years. We're judging it over the long term because we accumulate it slowly over the long term, and we want to judge the performance on the long term. Not just that, silver and gold occupies a little bit of a different part of your portfolio. It's a much safer part of your portfolio. It's not the part of the portfolio that we're looking to see huge growth. Gold and silver are the safe haven assets. They're the part that in the last ditch, that's your emergency fund. I know if you're anything like me and you work really hard for a beautiful piece of gold or silver, that's going to be the last thing you are going to want to sell in the case of an emergency. That's one of those things that you have to be mindful of. It's not something that you're looking to just jump in and jump out of at any one given time. If you're looking to move quickly in and out of things, there are paper gold and silver. There's, lots of stock options that you could be buying that maybe would be a better option if you're looking to be able to get into the asset and out of the asset quickly, because in reality, it's not that quick to be able to go, sure, I can go down to any local coin shop or any local We Buy Gold place and we can sell any of this gold and silver, but that's not going to be as quick as simply making a trade on a brokerage account. Simple as that. With the trade on a brokerage account, it'll be in the bank account, ready to go in a matter of days. Sure, I can have cash in hand, but that does require going down and selling things. And the thing is you're gonna get killed on the premium. If you were to go out and say, for instance, you were buying over in the corner, you were buying these Eagles last year, well, you probably would have been paying a significant premium, sometimes as high as a 27% premium on those Eagles. And with that, say you did make that 30% price jump in silver, well, when you go to sell these Eagles over here, that means there's only a 3% gain that you're actually getting. And with that 3% gain, don't forget, you may have to pay a little bit of collectibles tax on that, but that's a separate issue for another day where we can talk about the tax implications of gold and silver, because that's something we do need to be aware of and something we need to take into account. So the premium is going to kill you if you're trying to get in and out of silver and gold in the physical form. Now, like we talked about, maybe there's paper forms and maybe that has a role in part of your portfolio, but it's something that you need to be aware of. And I think that this is taking the smaller viewpoint and looking at gold and silver in terms of just a year is a little disadvantageous. We really need to look at the longer term view and be okay with it simply keeping up with inflation over the long term, because it's that hedge against some of those riskier assets, whether it's stocks that you own or whether it's real estate, whatever those riskier assets are that are going to provide more of the growth potential within your portfolio. Gold and silver is not, the idea behind it is not to actually provide that growth potential. You want to have other assets for that. Gold and silver is the safe haven asset that you go to and you know will perform and you will know will be there for you in times of need. With that, we have to continue to educate ourselves. We can't rely on us making good decisions when prices are volatile and things are changing, because we live in an ever-changing world and we have to make sure that we're ready for those changes. And part of that is having gold and silver as the emergency fund. That's a great secondary emergency fund that we're not going to want to spend. So with that education, you can get that education a lot of different places. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of getting some education from YouTube. Otherwise, I wouldn't be putting out these YouTube videos. And selfishly, I have gotten a lot of information from YouTube in the years, and that's somewhere that you can learn from a lot. You can also look for books out there, and there's lots of different podcasts that you can listen to on gold and silver, and I'm sure I'll give you more and more of those as we go along into the future, and I'll share as I continue to learn, because it's not something that you ever are completely done learning. When it comes to investing, you have to remember that you are always going to be learning. You're going to be making mistakes, and the idea is to be able to learn from those mistakes, because the simple fact is we're human and we're going to make mistakes over the years. The important thing is that we learn from those mistakes. We have to learn about the strengths and weaknesses of our different asset classes, and with that education, we're going to build comfort in our different asset classes. We'll feel comfortable owning some of silver with its volatility and with those higher premiums that you may or may not be able to get back. We'll also build comfort in gold and knowing the track record of gold, because that is something that is probably unparalleled in a lot of other investments. I mean, you can go back and look at the price for things in gold over the course of history that you can't do in any other asset class. Overall, are precious metals a good investment? Well, I think that there's certainly room for precious metals in just about everyone's portfolio. The trick is you have to be educated about it, and you have to learn what their role is in your specific case, because everyone's case and everyone's financial situation is going to be a little bit different. You have to do the work and go out there and learn about these different asset classes, learn the strengths and weaknesses of them, so you can develop an investing strategy for yourself. Because the truth is that the people in banks, stockbrokers, they're not going to be advocating for you to have these different hedge assets. And you will see there's some lip service out there where they will recommend like 5 to 10% of your portfolio in gold and silver, and typically that'll be not this physical form that you see above you, although in push comes to shove, I bet if you talk to a lot of stockbrokers, they probably also have some American Eagles tucked away in a safe somewhere. That's just how it goes. If it came push to shove, they probably do have a little bit of physical, and they don't always go by their own rules of that 5 to 10%. And that's okay, because everyone's going to have their different levels of comfort and different levels that they will find a role for gold and silver in their portfolio. Is it a good investment? Yes, it's a good investment, but you have to have patience and you have to learn the advantages and strengths of each of these asset classes. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did enjoy it, feel free to leave me a like and a comment down below. I would love to hear from you down in the comment section. Please feel free to subscribe. Take care.